this talk, I want to explore giving unsolicited advice with a twist. So, we've all heard, don't give unsolicited advice. We've all cringed when someone who did not understand our feelings, our motivations, our reality in all of its repercussions, or why we were doing what we were doing, has given us advice to solve a problem that they imagined we were trying to solve, when in fact we were actually doing something else. In other words, we didn't need to know the shortest way home. We needed to know the way to get home without running into our ex-boyfriend's friend or new girlfriend along the way. And so the helpful advice on how to get there faster was not only unwanted, but had no basis in even understanding what we were trying to do. And so there are many pitfalls to giving unsolicited and unwanted advice. However, on the flip side, sometimes everyone sees a problem coming, a pain, a crisis coming for someone we may not know very well. We may not have the, quote, social permission to say anything. And sometimes the most humiliating and painful thing for that person is realizing at the end of it all that everyone was too polite to share the one bit of information that would have really mattered. And I want to talk briefly in that aspect about how to talk with someone like this. It goes like this: excuse me, I don't know you very well. I don't know if what I'm going to say is inappropriate. If it is, please accept my apology. But may I have permission to share something with you that could be really important to you? And if they say, yeah, sure, take a seat. If it's an emotional thing for them, make sure they can be comfortable and just say, I'm watching your spouse, walking around with a strange man kissing and stuff, and I'm wondering if this is hurting you. Or did you know your pants are slowly, unraveling, and I'm concerned you're going to have an embarrassing moment. Or I overheard you saying that this is an important allergy for you, but this hotel, the waitresses, they don't speak English enough to really be trustworthy in this area. So talk to this person in the kitchen if you really want to be safe. So that's it. Thank you for listening, and off you go. Occasionally, the ideas are right on target, and the person doesn't want advice or is too fixated on a change. But here is one reason that I've found giving unsolicited advice is and can be really helpful. So let's say I'm bothered by a waiter, a general manager, a service provider, a this or that and the other. And I feel really passionate. It's like, you need to learn this. You need to understand this. Don't you get that this is the guest experience? Don't you get this is how it's like to interact with you? You need to know this. And I can write it down and say, well, what do I really want this person to understand and why? Now, at this point, I have two junctures. One, I can, in some cases appropriately, like if I'm a guest at that hotel, which since I've been traveling for 6 months this year, I've been guest at a lot of hotels and have had a lot of these conversations with managers and general managers. it may be appropriate to say, look, 5 stars doesn't mean having 3 elevators and a modern style in the bedroom. It means paying attention to what I've ordered. It means delivering salt and pepper automatically with the meal, and when that's forgotten, doing it in 60 seconds rather than 15 minutes after the food has been eaten. So this is what it means. Please hear, please respond. And this is win-win, meaning a hotel that delivers 2-star service for 5-star prices goes out of business, or doesn't have full occupancy, or gets bad reviews. So this is win-win, and it's appropriate. Sometimes it's not, meaning, may I give you some advice? May I talk with you? Nah, not interested. But the advice is still important, and here's why. I have discovered that about 80% of the time, I formulate the thought of what that person needs to do. That 80% of the time, they will not do it, whether it's appropriate or not, etc., it doesn't matter. But 80% of the time, there is some piece of that advice that is ideal advice for me. But I didn't think about it. I thought about what was ideal advice for them. So here's the twist. Notice how you feel. Observe everything you have with everyone and come up with elaborate plans about how they can improve their life, your life, could make the world a better place, how they could change. How they could change, why it's in their interest, why it'd be more profitable for them to change in all of those areas, and why you are right. And then, whether or not you deliver this excellent advice, take a look and see which of those things you could act on immediately. Now, I just did this. I love giving advice. It just comes so easily. And so, having just done a talk, a little video, on how to make value-based decisions, I started brainstorming ideas that I was too lazy or blocked to do on my own. There's a certain way when externalizing something allows things to flow and then come back in a way that it's a bit like tacking in a boat, where you can go kind of almost upwind and then almost upwind back again, but you can't go straight upwind. And sometimes just saying, Dane, what should you improve, is just flat. I don't respond. I don't want to respond. But when I say, what should they improve, I have a whole detailed list. The editor of that list often says, wow, I could do that in my business. This hotel maybe is doomed to have bad reviews in this area. They've obviously not paying attention. But what about my clients? Where are they having this kind of situation? What about, how can I make it easier for them to tell me these kind of things? I'm going to do this. I had this happen last year when a close friend, I was really excited about his future, and I created this amazing creating meditation, this discipline of thinking and imagining and feeling that I was positive was going to make him a lot of money. And I prepared it, and I gave it to him, and I waited, like, how's it going? How's it going? And, and like so many of these things, he kind of brushed it off. Stop bothering me. I'm much too busy doing all the stuff that I'm doing to survive to worry about a great abundance meditation and all that. And I felt hurt. And then I thought, wait a minute. I'm not doing this meditation. And it is a great meditation. Let me do it. And so I took all of my own advice. And what happened? My gross receipts in 6 months went up 300% because I took all this passion to help and to advise and to design for someone I cared about. And I made that person me. And I pursued that with the same passion as I would my best friend. And my reality improved. So in closing, our great and brilliant ideas may or may not be what someone needs. They may be what they need, but what they are not ready for or don't know they need. But they are almost always something that we need, something we can grow with, and our world can become abundant. And with that abundance, we can give the blessing of our presence, of our joy, of our success, of our inspiration, not more advice. Thank you.